going on, everybody? Welcome to a brand new video. Yes, today I'm starting off the video right here where we're supposed to be talking, me and you, just me and you. Come on. Today I wanted to share a little theory that I have when it comes to friendships and relationships. This theory started to come about because I started to explore what it looks like to maintain relationships and healthy relationships. What does a sustainable friendship look like? You know, I know that there's a whole cancel culture out there. I know that some people just like to ghost people and cut people off, and I completely believe in boundaries. Are you kidding me? Like, if somebody is toxic, if somebody is no longer adding value into your life, if somebody's actually sucking energy out of you, like, for so many reasons, I do believe that we need to be wise about who we keep around in our lives. You know, I know that when I first entered the entrepreneurial journey, people were always like, oh, it's lonely at the top and don't be surprised if you have to cut off your friends. And as years went on, I was also told that, you know what? It's not so lonely at the top. It's about having the right people around you. This theory that I have helps me measure the level of intimacy, the level of vulnerability, the level of the duration of the times that I might spend with this kind of person when it comes to the friendship and relationship accordingly to my life's chapters. So let's just get straight into it. So the theory is this. I call it the onion theory. As of recently, I think I heard somebody else actually call it their nucleus. And the onion theory is that if you were to imagine an onion, you know, it has its layers. It has this outer layer that you gotta peel. And then if you were to just cut it in half, look at it. There are rings and rings and rings. So I consider the center of the onion to be my dreams, my goals, my values, what is most important to me. And as the rings get smaller and smaller or bigger and bigger, and as the layers get closer and closer to the center of the onion, it's up to my self-awareness to be extremely clear of my priorities and core values. And then when it comes to my friends, they might be in different layers of the onion depending on what chapter of my life I'm at. Because I wanted to explore more about how to sustain and maintain friendships versus just cutting people off, I've learned to be malleable, I've learned to be adjustable, I've learned that life just isn't linear at all. And I also believe that certain people are meant to be in our lives in certain chapters of our lives. Some people aren't meant to stay so close to the center of the onion the entire time. But yeah, because I acknowledge that I go through phases and chapters of my life when it comes to progress and growth, I know that everybody else does as well. And so I can't expect that my energy will match other people's, and I can't expect theirs to match mine all of the time. And I don't want to just cut off a friend just because they couldn't be there for me that one time, because what if they weren't the ones who were supposed to be there to support me in the first place? The only thing that's a constant in life is change. And so I'm personally too tired to get a new friend every single time I'm going through a new chapter. And so when friends move between layers of the onion throughout life, it's nothing personal. It's just that I think sometimes that's how it naturally happens too. So for example, when I first quit my full-time job to pursue speaking, I was a young 22-year-old, and at the time a lot of my friends were still very into partying. And granted, I was too. I'm not saying that I wasn't, I was too. However, I spent much of my time with personal development work. I was so into books, I was so into podcasts. I was like actually one of the only few people I knew who was listening to podcasts. A lot of my friends wanted to make more time watching TV, while I was more enjoying time just reading things all the time. And so that's when, you know, there were a lot of people who are on the outer layers of the onion and very few people who are closer to the circle of the onion. But you know, chapters like when my mom passes away, or chapters when I'm really into personal development and I want other people who are really into personal development to be the ones who contact me. Or if I really want to switch up my language and speak more of abundance language and no scarcity mindset, I would want to surround myself with people who are on the same journey. So what I'm trying to say about the onion theory is that first, it's about self-awareness. It's about knowing your needs, knowing what your priorities are, knowing what kind of journey that you're on right now, and are you in the pursuit of becoming who you want to be, and who in your circle might be along the same journey as well. And this is important because the conversations that you have, the language that you speak, how you spend your time, who you're around, who influences you, who shares core values with you, who are your mentors, all of these things really contribute to your performance now and success later. And I'm not saying that I never had to experience friendship breakups either. I have had a situation where I was breaking up with 2 people at once. Throughout life, you know, we might start to strengthen our views or change our views. And as we evolve, as we change, as we grow, as we learn, it might turn out that some of the values that we grew up with actually isn't congruent to what we truly believe in. And those initial values may have existed just because of influence from parents or society or culture, whatever. But as we grow, it's about what you do with what you know. So that might mean that your mentor might change. That might mean that you actually don't really want to follow a bunch of influencers that you follow. As we evolve, we should all be able to state our core values and also non-negotiables. And when it comes to non-negotiables, that's where we really need to set our boundaries. So then, observe, is there anybody in your life who crosses those boundaries? And then, do you care enough to have a conversation with them? Like, do you want to keep them around? Or if not, are you going to peel the layer of the onion? I think that if we have really strong communication skills, we should be able to have these conversations, if anything. If it's important enough to you, you should be able to have these conversations. And if not, relating between the lines applications are going to be open at the end of August. But I digress. So yeah, that's basically what the onion theory is. It's basically just about knowing what your needs are and then just putting people in your circle accordingly. I love my friends, and after going away for college and after moving across the country, I've learned that communication is truly key to all relationships, and honesty, and also just accountability as well. People sometimes get mad at one another for not hitting each other up, and sometimes people say that communication works in both ways. So if the other person doesn't hit you up, it's like, they didn't hit me, also why should I hit them up? Here's just the truth about people. There are people who are good at hitting people up, and then there are people who are bad at hitting people up. However, if they're bad, it doesn't mean that there's no invitation. They usually should be down for the invitation. So for example, I'm pretty good at hitting people up. I also tend to miss people. I also tend to miss my friends a lot because I'm the one who's across the country. So I'm used to hitting people up. I have no issues with it. I don't take it personally when the other person doesn't hit me up. The key here is that I trust my friendships enough that I don't think that when they're not hitting me up, it's on purpose. Like, I don't believe that at all. So when I do hit them up, yeah, they're excited that I hit them up. They're excited to catch up on the phone. Sometimes there's just no need to get mad at one another. And sometimes just because the other person isn't hitting you up doesn't mean that they don't miss you or that they don't care. Again, they just might not be the type of person to hit people up. So again, the onion theory. What I cherish about my friendships is that when we do get to see each other again, it's literally like nothing's changed. It's literally like we've seen each other yesterday. So I hope this helps you. I hope this encourages you. If you're going through rough times with your friendships, I hope that you can consider having the conversation with them and just be honest if you care enough. If you care enough. And that's it for today. Quick and simple. If you could like this video and comment and share the video, I would really appreciate it. Also, if you haven't checked it out, I have a brand new speaking reel. If you can also check that out, watch the whole thing, let it play. Let it just play if you could. But yeah, watch it, like it, comment, share, please. If you have any questions about the onion theory or anything else about friendships and relationships and communication, you can slide in my DMs. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.